All right, let's get back on the Bridging the Gap train. Been a while, obviously been busy, but want to get back to this digital mentorship and continue to kind of put forth things and topics that I feel are very important and things that can help this current and next generation of leaders, especially officers and the NCOs. But this particular topic, I want to focus and speak to you officers, whether you're a junior officer, a lieutenant, whether you're a captain, even if you're a peer of mine, you're a major, speak to you specifically about the importance of running things by NCOs and having that NCO buy-in. We as officers, we think differently. We think big picture. We think on a different scope than an NCO does. NCOs are about Joe. They're about soldiers. How does this affect that particular soldier? We as officers, we put policies into place for the betterment of the organization. You know, it's important if we have the ability to think about the effects on the individual soldier, then absolutely. But most officers are thinking, first and foremost, how does this affect the organization? And does it better the organization? Does it better the element, whatever position you're in? And then that NCO is thinking, hey, well, how is this going to affect that soldier that I'm entrusted to lead? How's it going to affect Joe? It's very important. If you're an officer and you need to come up with a decision, you got a big decision to make, a training plan, you have a policy you want to put in place as a commander, you're a platoon leader and there's certain things that you want to put into place for your platoon, then make sure you get the buy-in from your platoon sergeant. You get the buy-in from your first sergeant, from your command sergeant major. I've had the pleasure and fortune of being in the 153 Cav the last 3 years, and served as the S3 and closing out right now as my role as the executive officer. Also had the opportunity to dual hat as the squadron AO for the AGRs. But having Sergeant Major James Reed, everybody knows Sergeant Major James Reed. Guy is one of the most squared away NCOs I've ever met. Cares about soldiers, is there for soldiers, understands the importance of his role and the importance of M days towards his role, and how we do not exist, we do not have jobs without our M day force, and he fully lives that. But what I appreciate about him and NCOs like him is the door is always open for me to go to him and go to them and say, I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking we should put this into place. I think we should change this up. You want to run those things by the NCOs because they can be and will be, if you've got a good one, they'll be completely honest with you and tell you whether you're jacked up, whether it's not a smart decision that you need to make or a smart policy to put in place. And if it's a good one, then they'll back you. And they're going to back you regardless of it's a good decision or not, because that's how great NCOs are. When it comes to being in front of the troops and the soldiers, they're going to back that leadership. However, having that buy-in not only shows them that, hey, I don't think that I'm here doing this myself. Sergeant Major Reed, you and I are in this together. Command Sergeant Major, if you're a commander, or First Sergeant, if you're a company commander, we're in this together. We make decisions together. We are battle buddies in this as long as we're in these positions. Then if you have that buy-in from them, then you'll always be successful. And you don't necessarily have to just be in one of those key leadership positions to have that NCO buy-in. If you are somebody who has a full-time job where you're in a shop and you're putting different policies into place, or you're coming up with different concepts, and you just want to get an NCO's viewpoint, then I will argue that's important. That's key. Do it. Get that NCO to tell you what they think about it, because they'll be able to kind of give you some great insight and say, hey, no, that's a jacked up plan, or hey, absolutely, put that into place, and it's going to positively affect Joe, positively affect the soldiers. So that's the topic of the day, something that is near and dear to my heart, because I've had the opportunity to work and serve with some of the best NCOs that I can ask for. So if you are an officer, last thing I'll leave you with, and just if you don't hear anything other than any important decision that you have to make sure you run it by an NCO. Thank you.